Listen, there's something really, really weird happening here in Mauritius, and I feel like I should tell you about it, okay? Because me and my family have been living in Mauritius for quite some time now, but we have never experienced this. And I'm gonna get down to it in this video because tons of Americans, French people, South Africans, all the folks are looking at coming here, and you need to know about this because we are coming up to the middle point of 2026. Now, we have lived in Mauritius with our rather large family for almost 3 years now. In fact, I have now given birth here in Mauritius, have experienced the healthcare system, and it's fabulous. It's amazing. It's quite honestly fantastic. I have no complaints. But in this video, I'm going to tell you what has changed in Mauritius since 2024 so that you understand what to do on your journey. Now, the simple things have pretty much remained the same. If you're an American passport holder, a Canadian, a United Kingdom citizen, probably even Spanish or German as well, then you get to Mauritius visa free, okay? It's very great. There's not many African countries that are visa free left, so that is a win-win scenario. If you're traveling to Mauritius, you may want to fill out the Mauritius travel form before you get here so that your stay going through the airport can be quicker instead of taking up more time. Also, you're going to see a lot of expats here. You're going to see a lot of diversity here, so just be aware of that. Mauritius is not a monolith. Now, if you're searching living in Mauritius, then you probably have heard of an area called Grand Bay. That may be one of the first places that you want to go to. You may want to just soak up the sun on the beach and see the ocean, where the ocean also meets some beautiful apartments. And then if you're down south, you see where the ocean meets the mountains. I mean, the country, the island is truly a vibe. But here's the strange part. When I wake up in the mornings now, there's condensation on the window because that's how cold it's gotten. And I'm not sure if this is regular. I've lived in Mauritius for a while now, but it has never been this cold because, excuse me, just remember, France, Spain, the United Kingdom are quite literally basically on fire with their weather. I mean, it's like 110 degrees Fahrenheit in some areas, especially in France, but it's rather cold here. And I'm just like, does this have something to do with how hot it is in Europe right now? America's also pretty hot, but it's still, it's not even July yet. I said it, I was gonna say it's still July, but we're not even approaching July yet. And so why is it so hot over there and this cold down here? And I don't even live in the mountainous region. See, there's like a mountainous region. If you were to go up to Vacoas, Phoenix, Mocha, Quartier Bornase, Port Louis, this is where you're going to see the mountains and you're going to be at a higher elevation. In fact, sometimes if you take a certain route driving there, it's so beautiful. The scenery is just fantastic. Looking at sugarcane valleys and entire mountains with the Pierre Booth up there, which is like a rock that almost looks like a head on top of the mountain. It's just a vibe. But this cold weather, I have to be honest with you. I mean, I moved to Africa because I love hot weather. I love beaches. I love to be warm. But in these mornings and these nights, these days, I'm like, we have to change our entire wardrobe. I mean, we did encounter this when we came to Mauritius and noticed in the rainy season, it was a little bit colder than areas in East Africa. We obviously noticed that. And so we changed our entire wardrobe, started getting jackets and things of that nature and warmer clothes. But I mean, this year, I think it's a little bit overboard. If you're Mauritian, leave a comment down below because I just don't understand. Is this normal? Now, walk with me for a moment. I want to see how cold it is out here. I want to show you because this condensation is no joke. And I'm literally just like, why is it so cold like this? So it looks like it'd be pretty warm. You know, the sunlight is out. Then you step out. Let's see how cold it is. Got a little chill in the air. But the sun is out. So like by 11 a.m. it should be warm. Like right now it's probably 7:30 a.m. But prior to 7:30 and in the nighttime, it gets, to me, drastically cold. And you may think this is extreme, and I get it. I'm from Ohio. I know what very cold weather is. But listen, since I have been living in Africa, okay, I've been more like an African. Like, I just can't take the cold. Honestly, I couldn't even take it in Ohio. I used to despise winters, but it looks beautiful. The rain has approached and come in the middle of the night. I mean, it's been raining pretty good, pretty endlessly, I would say. But there's just a little chill out here. Like, it's just a little colder than you would expect. The ground is, you know, That's where our children play and put. I don't know why they put them off there, guys. That didn't make a lot of sense, but you know, they're children. But the ground is wet and it's just like, man. But hey, weather is weather. This is Mauritius. This is what it's like. The weather is weathering. The weather does all kinds of things. It's hot, cold, freezing. Definitely not getting in the pool in this season. Our children always ask to get in the pool in the rainy season. Sometimes we let them. Me personally, I'm not getting in that freezing cold pool. Wow, and I just remembered the other thing about Mauritius that has changed so much in the last year. Again, not sure what it is. These mosquitoes are different. These are not the mosquitoes that we had in 2025 on this island. These mosquitoes right here, they're aggressive, but granted, Mauritius is malaria free, okay? So just know that. But you can get something called like the chikungunya fever. I think that's how you would say it, or the dengue fever, okay? But it's not malaria. It's not deadly. But that's something that you could possibly get from all of these mosquitoes. Now, our children haven't had it. I think me and my husband had something like it when we first arrived, but it only affected me and my husband. We keep our kids up on their supplementation, okay? They are lacking no good food. They are lacking no good nutrition. Like, they have their full vitamin complex out here. But yeah, these mosquitoes are just a little bit odd as well with, you know, your cold and rainy weather. I get it, the water and all of that, and we low-key live in a jungle. Like, maybe I should pan this way so you can see all the trees over here. Literally, if I just do the rest of the video right here, you're like, wow, she's in the middle of a rainforest, and it kind of looks like it. But you know, the vegetation is also very much alive here, so perhaps that's why there's so many mosquitoes. But I mean, these mosquitoes are aggressive. I thought I was getting bitten by a spider, but it was a mosquito. That's how rough it was, and that's how big the bite got. I'm still looking back like, was that a spider or was that a mosquito? Now, we have not had many spider issues recently because, you know, just the huge spiders, I don't know where they are, but I'm glad they're not here. Sometimes you will see enormous spiders out here, but that is the extent of my 2026 complaints about Mauritius. I mean, there's just not that much to complain about. There's not that much to be unhappy about. There's not that much to be like, oh my gosh, everything is crashing. Like, it's very much stable. It's very much wonderful and beautiful. Prices are incrementally going up, just as they are around the rest of the world. I mean, even Apple, obviously an American company, has announced that they are doubling their rates. And so across the world, you will see that. I think it's time to get some more Apple products before they do double. So just be aware of that. It may be more affordable if you're stateside to go ahead and get your Apple products while you're over there in the States. Go to your neighborhood Apple store, right? I'm from Columbus, Ohio. We would go to Easton, go to the Apple store. Been going there since I was a teenager. Go there, get your Apple products, call it a day, okay? Because the technology, if you're wanting Apple products, is going to be a little bit pricier on the island because you're having to pay tax and all of those types of things depending on what product it is, okay? And then things, if you are getting certain gadgets that may come from China that are more affordable, somehow they get to America more affordable, you may want to do that as well. But for the most part, things are pretty simple here. Life is pretty easy and low-key and laid back because you are living the island lifestyle. So what they say about island people is true. Mauritius is like that. People do things on their own time. Sometimes stores don't open up till 8:30 or 9 a.m. depending on where you are. Obviously in Port Louis it's different. I do not live in the main city. I'm not a main city type of girl, okay? I'm more of like a suburban, like put me in nature type of girl. That's how I am. That's how I like to raise my children, so they can be in an environment that is a bit slower, more holistic, things of that nature. That's our whole reason for moving to Africa, and more specifically Mauritius. Now, something really interesting and cool that I just found out this year about Isle de Mauritius, is that they actually have a Pan-African college out here in Pamplemousses. Now, if you've been watching this channel, you know we have also some older children. Like, our older son is a teenager, so I'm planning and seeing, okay, what colleges are available. I know Mauritius has some of the best colleges on the continent for our children to go to, or at least best for my requirements. My requirements are a bit different than like worldly standards. My requirements are really like a wholesome community, a wholesome type of college, that doesn't have a lot of drama and a lot of issues and a lot of other factors that I just won't talk about right now in this video. But I thought that was interesting. It's like a Pan-African college, and I forget the terminology, but it was basically representing 4 distinct cultures in Africa. One was like Great Zimbabwe. I believe the other was Rwanda. And it's basically representing 4 main cultures in Africa. And that's like the areas that the students can go into. It was really interesting, but it's like a business leadership school. So it's a school of business. So if you have children that you're like, I want to pay for their education abroad, Mauritius is a great place because it's obviously not going to be $80,000 to send them to school. In fact, I was running the numbers, okay? I was running the numbers. It could be about $5,000, $6,000, $7,000 per year. Yes, I know, mic drop. Let me be quiet so you can let that simmer in a little bit. Because in America, we all know, paying for a bachelor's degree is going to run you your whole house. You're going to have to sell your house to pay for that bachelor's degree, especially if you are going to go and get a master's or a PhD. And so I was like, wow, I understand why people come out here and come to study. Adults, you know, they'll be studying out to get their PhD. I'm like, oh, wow, this is great. This is fascinating. And, you know, it's a win-win situation, obviously, because Mauritius gets the resources, the economic advantage of having people pay for those courses. I mean, you can pay in cash. And if you have a child that just loves to learn, or if you're one of those people, a lot of the people in our community from America just love going to school their entire lives. Like, you know, people, they'll go for their double masters and go for the PhD. You may want to do that somewhere that has a lower cost of living and where the degree is going to be like 100 times lower, not 100, 50 times lower, 60, 70 times lower than what you're used to. So that's something interesting that I've found to be an update out here. Now, if you are like, do you have more information about Mauritius? Number 1, go to the Mauritius Africa playlist where I talk about some of the best villages that you can live in Mauritius. My perspective on living in Mauritius, like I will always tell people, when you are coming here, I would live in the north. I would live in the north because I have found the internet in the south and infrastructure overall in the south to not be as adequate as the north. Okay. That's my opinion. That is my experience. And it continues, you know, there were even like messages like, hey, power's going to be out in the south for this amount of time. And it was longer than like your standard, because here in Mauritius, you'll have like short power cuts that may happen like maybe once a month or something like that. But if you're in the south, it may be more popular for that to happen. They may occur more often. So that's why I always say you should just live in the north. Okay. The north, the internet is the best. The infrastructure is the best. It's like a suburban area if you're raising children. Now, if you're a city person and you just love Port Louis, I get it. If you're coming from like the main city and you've lived in the city and you're like, I just love that upbeat lifestyle, then you'll enjoy that. But if you come from a suburban area, if you have children, if you're retired, the north is definitely one of those better places to be. There's expats all over, there's Mauritians all over, there's everybody's all over. There's a good mixture in the north where you're just seeing everything, because there are locations in Mauritius. Like if you were to go to an area called Camp de Masque, it's very much very local and spread out. So it almost feels like a farm town down there. And so if you're an expat coming for the first time, that would probably make your life difficult being down there, because you don't know anybody, you don't know anything, you don't have access to much. And so this is why it is helpful to watch a channel like this, to know somebody here and say like, what's the best area? Because I would say that's one of the main mistakes people make that can really trip you up, because obviously if you go to the wrong location, your experience of the country could be different, and just you could have had a better experience if you would have chosen to go somewhere like a Grand Bay, like a Pierre Bay, like a Trois beaches. And I know I'm slaughtering these words from the French perspective. I'm sorry. Okay, I apologize, but I don't have the French accent. But definitely do that. And then if you're in the airport and you're like, hey, what phone service should I get? Ma'am, sir, go ahead and grab MTEL. People say my tea is better, and I'm just like, I'm not experiencing that. I have not experienced that, whether it's in the south or the north. And I use a lot of internet. Maybe that's what it is. Maybe if you don't use a lot and you just like my tea better, but I use a huge amount of internet because I do tech consulting. And so I have to open up different email service providers that take up a whole lot of internet. They're pretty clunky and bulky from a digital perspective, running laptops, running TVs, running iPads for homeschool. We're just running a lot of stuff. And that's also the other reason to be in the North, right? There's also a lot of schools in the North. Even the Pan-African school that I was talking about is in the north of the island, okay? Now, here's another tidbit that could really, really help you if you're coming to Mauritius. You may want to know what the grocery stores are called, because us from the States, we're used to Kroger and Walmart and Winn-Dixie and whoever else is over there, Target, Trader Joe's, all the folks, okay? But they don't have any of those out here, despite what Americans may think. America does not rule the world, sorry to tell you. But over here we have like Super U, which is a French company. We have Winners. We have Intermart, okay? Those are like the three main stores that you're going to see for groceries. There's also markets on the street that you can find depending again on the area you are in. Not all areas in Mauritius are created equal. Like my area, I can walk to my favorite cafe, get a matcha, get a chocolate donut, get whatever food I want, a sandwich or burger. Not all areas have that though, and so it is helpful to understand which neighborhoods you're going into. But those are the grocery stores. I think if I would have known the grocery stores, I'm trying to consider things that I didn't know because I didn't know anybody coming here. What would have changed my experience and made it easier? Because when you're first landing, you're like, okay, where's the grocery store? Where's this? What is that? What's the best grocery store? Which one has the stuff I want? Also understand on this island, there are like 30 plus malls. There are so many malls on this island. It's quite shocking. It shows you the Mauritian economy is quite alive and doing really well for it to be such a small island. And I would liken it to somewhere like a South Africa where you see a lot of buildings and stores and economic activity versus somewhere like a Tanzania, because we lived in Tanzania. You don't have a lot of that if you get outside of a particular area in Dar es Salaam. And so I would liken it more to like South Africa when it comes to that. But we also have friends and acquaintances who have spent a great deal of time in Botswana and have told us like, hey, Botswana doesn't really have a lot of stores. It kind of reminded them of Tanzania. And so I was like, okay, that's interesting. Just understanding the different African cities and countries so that you know how they're laid out and how they function, how they maneuver, because you could take a big country like a Botswana or a Tanzania, but it be very sparse, meaning there's not a lot of stores, there's not a lot of economy, there's not a lot of, you know, things like businesses. There's just not a lot out there. There's not a lot of differentiators. There's not a lot of diversification. But out here, I mean, you're going to find like Chinese medicine doctors, massage therapists. You're going to find, obviously, your different hair salons, your different nail salons. I've seen something like a Russian nail salon. I was like, oh, that's interesting. I've never got a Russian manicure. I thought that was interesting. Somebody leave a comment down below if you know what that is, because I'm not sure, but I think it sounds pretty cool. And what else? Yeah. Car washes, obviously. They have McDonald's out here. Everybody has KFC. KFC has made it throughout the whole world, and I'm just not a KFC type of person. But these are the type of things you'll find out here. There's a lot of different businesses, a lot of different restaurants from various countries in the world. You could find some there from Lebanon, from Jordan, from Korea, from Morocco. There's a restaurant in our neighborhood and the owners are Moroccan. It's like, wow, Mauritius really reaches like every single demographic that you can think of. I mean, I've never been in such a diverse place. And again, I'm from Ohio, so y'all that are from Los Angeles and New York, you may be like, well, Los Angeles, I've never been there. Well, New York, sorry, not from there, okay? I'm from Ohio, Midwest town, okay, very small town, Jewish town. I didn't see that much diversification. So this is the most diverse place that I've ever been in, seeing, you know, all of the different peoples and all of the different businesses. And I mean, really, that one really shocked me. I'm like, that's really cool that it's like a Moroccan restaurant. That's cool. I've never really had Moroccan food, to be quite honest with you. Now, the restaurant that I wish was here, I wish they had Ethiopian restaurants. If somebody who's Ethiopian wants to open an Ethiopian restaurant, that would be phenomenal, because I truly do miss Ethiopian food. It's one of my favorite types of food. One more thing that could be difficult, but now there's a solution to it, and it's brand new here. So before, Uber was not in Mauritius for years. I mean, Uber just came to Mauritius this year. And so it kind of standardized the rates, right, of like taxis and things of that nature. Because previously, if you go to the airport, a taxi can charge you whatever they want to charge you, obviously, because they're a taxi. They understood, hey, there's no Uber here, there's no Bolt at that time. They can charge you whatever they want. They may be outrageous prices, but the competition of having Uber in the country kind of standardizes the price rate for the taxis. And so as somebody that's coming, this is going to be a much easier experience for you, so you don't have to guess with numbers. And even Tanzania had like Bolt, and had, I think even Kenya has Uber. A lot of countries in Africa have like apps that are like that, but Mauritius didn't have it prior to 2026, or at least not like a widely trusted one. I mean, sometimes you can download apps and you'll get scammed, so you do have to be aware of that. I think scams are increasing. I'm in these groups and people are like, oh, I got scammed. Oh, I put my phone number into this. Oh, I did this. I downloaded this app. Like, be aware of what apps you download, especially if you're a retiree, right? I find a lot of retirees kind of succumb to some of those scams because they're not as technologically advanced. And that's really where going into the mature adult intensive can help, getting your things together on the American side, making sure that you are not entering into scams, ensuring that your plan is bulletproof and makes sense and has a strategy and a geographical philosophy behind it. Our philosophy is anti-corruption, visa-free access, long-term residency spanning 5 to 10 years, great education systems, because you're also considering maybe your grandchildren, your nieces, your nephews, you're moving with your extended family. There's really only one African country that reliably lets you move with your extended family. Kenya and Rwanda are good second choices for this, but Mauritius, just the way that their residency schemes are set up, and you should visit the Economic Development Bank Mauritius. Go to the website, make that your new favorite book. I used to read that website all the time when I was looking at Mauritius to understand, because they're very transparent, which is something that I just align with so much. It's really good to be transparent with your business and your policies. List everything on your website so that you understand what's happening, because sometimes you'll go to these African countries, you may pop up in Senegal, see something on the website, and they're like, no, that's not how it is anymore. And that can be very frustrating, right? Because there's that lack of transparency. That's where talks of corruption and outdated systems come into play. And it may seem like, oh, we'll just be patient. But when you're on the other side of that as a retiree, as an expat, as whoever you are, that can be fundamentally exhausting, and it will cost you money. If you are in the wrong country, it will cost you money, because not all African nations are the same. This is why Mauritius is number one for doing business on the continent. And I can tell you truly, from immigration to business processes, financial, I've been in nearly every sector that you can consider when it comes to getting visas, getting residence, going through this portal, uploading this paperwork, doing that. I can tell you it's very straightforward compared to Eastern Africa and more corrupt nations that you'll find throughout the world, not just in Africa. Corruption is everywhere. And so even if you were to go to like the Philippines or to Thailand, I'm not saying Thailand is corrupt, but you go to countries where there's a lack of stability and where people can switch things on a whim, that's just not my kind of vibe. Why? Because I have children. I'm married with children. That does not help me. See, my children already grow too fast. So when you switch into policies every 5 seconds, ma'am, sir, I can't keep up. Seems like you don't want folks here. Not interested, okay? I'm only interested in places like a Mauritius that make things very streamlined, okay? I hear Dubai is like that. I hear Qatar is like that. I hear Abu Dhabi is like that. All these places, when I look at their immigration portals and I look at their 10-year residencies for freelancers, which is something that's really hot in the Middle East right now, the processes are very transparent. They just let you know what's happening, let you know what's going on. It is what it is. I hear Singapore is like that, right? Very straightforward. There's not a lot of hoopla. There's not a lot of confusion. On your side, the most confusing part may be on the American side, figuring out which international banks that you want to leverage from America. Okay, I'm not sure why expats come and think, I'm just going to totally abolish the American system. And you're an American passport holder. You're probably not going to abolish the American system. It's probably not even possible for you because a lot of the world actually
has ties to America. I mean, all of social media, guess what? These are American companies. So it's quite difficult for you to do that. And you should not do that. That is not wise. So there are strategies and things that you need to do in the United States before you leave to get on a plane. Lastly, my last tip, when you are booking Airbnbs, this is my rule of thumb. It may seem extra, but let me tell you, I'm someone that doesn't get scammed ever. Literally, I don't get scammed because I have these procedures and policies in place for my purchases and decision making. Here's what I don't do. If I'm booking Airbnb, I have to see testimonials. I don't care how nice it looks. I don't care that it's new and they're like, oh, I'll give you a discount. I don't care. I need testimonials. Again, I'm a mother of 6 children. I'm just not interested in that type of adventure where they scam me and they're like, oh, it doesn't exist. Not interested. I have to see testimonials. Number 2, when you are booking your Airbnb out here in Mauritius, understand when your busy seasons are. Mauritius, although it's kind of a remote island, I hear people say it like that, but we are very well connected to the world. I mean, we have direct flights to Dubai, India, and people come here, despite what Americans may think, and people from Canada, a lot of people come to Mauritius, okay? Indonesians, people from Australia, people from China, from Russia, from Ukraine, from Spain. Like, a lot of folks come here to Mauritius. Okay, and so at any given time, they're going to be busy and booked out. This is why you'll see so much building here. If I went to the other side of the house, you would see some of those estates that are being built. Everywhere that I've lived on this island, there's always someone building right next door. Whether it's right across from me, diagonal, there's always a lot of building, and it's for good reason. A lot of people come to this island not just to visit, but to retire, to get their digital nomad visas, to get their self-employed entrepreneur visas, to become students and get student visas. People have that ability here. They make it very simple, and it's evident in the fact that you see lots of humans from all over the earth coming here. Even lots of people from Africa, they have the occupation permit for people in Africa and Asia that want jobs. You as an American, you could get a job if you wanted, but the pay is probably going to be way too low for you. I mean, we've had a client that actually decided that they were going to get a job in Rwanda. It's a teacher, and she was promoted to principal. For her, that made sense because she loves teaching, and now she's a principal, and she was promoted back years ago, because we have our travel consultations and containers where we're strategizing your move and understanding what maneuver is going to work best for you. But I mean, you could if you want to, but again, one of your issues, I would say, is going to be that they speak French. Okay, like when you're going into maybe a school system, unless it's a private English school or something like that, that could be one of the things you're up against. Even in healthcare, if you're a nurse, if you're a doctor, that could be one of the things that you're up against. Okay, so just be aware of that. Be aware of some of those types of things, because it's much better if you're a self-employed entrepreneur, you're a consultant, you own some type of business container, some type of course, you're a lawyer, a law firm that is virtual. One of my clients in the States is a lawyer. It's a lawyer firm and also a finance firm that works virtually. So literally she could go anywhere in the world as long as she has the back-end operations and systems functioning in her business. She could come out here, right? And those are the type of people, like service-based consultants, sales trainers, people that have a flexible type of industry. Now, somebody else asked a question. They were like, my employer won't let me work out here. Let me tell you something. For the digital nomad visa, the premium visa, they're going to require you to get permission from your employer. For example, I am my employer. My company employs me. It's with the state of Ohio. It's registered with the Secretary of State, all those wonderful things. I turn in those forms and you get approved because you already have a business and you are your employer. And I wrote a letter saying that I give myself permission. My company gives me permission to be here. So if your employer does not let you work here, there's not too much you could do. Maybe you could try to negotiate further with them. Maybe you would want different employment. Okay, maybe you would want to start consulting on the side, right? Go to www.tiffygrice.ai if that is something that you're interested in and you do want to go through a challenge that's over 30-40 days to get your consulting business off the ground. Because increasingly, what's most important if you want a geo arbitrage strategy in your business is that your business is functional, that it's visible, and that you have a creative portfolio. By the way, I just want to share this good news because I'm really happy about it. I just got this new tech contract out in California, okay? I know I'm not from California, but the California companies, we just get along. We are like eye to eye. And it's with a huge tech firm that happens to be a huge social media company. So just send a congratulations if you're listening to this point because I'm really excited. I've already been doing their consultations. They pay very well. Get on a call for about 30-60 minutes doing these consultations, going through marketing workflows, retention, SMS, all of the tech stuff that I absolutely love. My husband always laughs at me because he's like, your language is so technical. So that's like my weakness that I have to like work on, of not being so technical, because it is hard to get my brain out of those technicalities in marketing and retention and engineering and sales and all of those things. But I am super excited, so happy about it. They emailed me back and said, yes, we're going to be doing more contracts with you. So I thought that was just fabulous. And of course, if you're like, wow, what's the contract? What are you doing? Well, I always tell you guys, I don't know if y'all just don't understand email marketing. I don't know, but it's email marketing. Like whenever you see my business, whenever you see me talking about a contract, 9.5 times out of 10 is going to be email marketing, SMS marketing, or sales page writing and sales enablement. That's typically going to be what it is. I mean, the past 5, and my firm is 10 years old, but at least the past 5 years, my sole focus has been on email and SMS marketing, generating my clients over 31.9 million in revenue to date and counting. So that's why it's so exciting, 2025, 2026. And I think just being here has a lot to do with it, is what I say in a lot of videos. Being here in Mauritius, where the infrastructure works, where it's like an environment where it just feels tech friendly, it feels entrepreneurship friendly. You can really focus and get your clients and just do your contracts, and it's just really a vibe. It's amazing. Because I've noticed since transitioning from here, after being in East Africa, I was able to sign better clients while being here. Again, it could be the Wi-Fi, it could be the electricity. Everything is streamlined, everything is efficient. I don't have to worry about like weird corruption happening, weird bribery happening. All those things like psychologically pull on you quietly. You think it's fine. You're like, well, I'm in Africa, it is what it is. But all that stuff draws your energy and drains it. It's like a leech that just siphons your energy, versus you go somewhere with proper infrastructure, proper ways of life, proper thinking, proper dealing with humanity, and not trying to get over on every human that you meet. It just makes your business life easier because you're not stressed in the background. You're not worried about, oh my gosh, is somebody going to bribe me when I go to register my business, when I go to renew this, when I go pay my taxes. And then in Mauritius, everything's online anyway. Getting in your portal, the EDB portal, getting your username, all of that stuff. It's all online for the most part. And so that's what it is. But I'm super excited because 2025, 2026 in my firm has really been more focused on tech. Whereas I used to work with a lot of e-commerce and direct to consumer. I still do. If you have a direct to consumer 7-8 figure business and you need emails and retention strategy, www.tiffygrice.ai, right? But it's changed a lot. A lot has changed because I also work with tax relief firms, financial planners, retirement planners, writing their emails. So again, if you're like, well, what do you do? Again, executing their email strategy, writing the campaigns, getting them buku amounts of clients, okay? With persuasion and sales psychology, because your girl loves being a writer, absolutely love it. But the tech firms, it's been really interesting, almost functioning as a type of engineer, functioning in AI models and LLMs, doing research, grading the models, seeing how they do with marketing and retention, checking the models, grading them and saying, hey, this marketing is wrong. The way that you're leading this retention strategy is wrong. There's different KPIs you should pay attention to, or this copy doesn't sound right. That's the technology that I've been working on with really top firms. It's interesting. Like if you were go to my LinkedIn profile, you would see. You should be on my LinkedIn profile. I share so much on LinkedIn all the time because I just love LinkedIn. That's where all the executives, all my type of people, like, there's so much money that you can make on LinkedIn. I'll just leave it at that. But if you like this information, if you want more videos like this of me breaking down both Mauritius, my life, and my business all together, because I kind of did all of that in one video, then type business down below and I will keep continuing to do that, okay? And if you want more marketing, business development information for your own life, for your side hustle, because I've mentored dozens and dozens of entrepreneurs, freelance writers that now are in remote marketing departments, customer service departments, doing marketing, doing engagement, community managers, people who are actual couples who have gone through my programs and decided, like one wife went through my program and then her husband saw what she was doing. They live abroad. And then he's like, you know what, I think I should be a copywriter too. And so it's just, I just love the results. Even clients that decided to move to Costa Rica, doing my one-to-one mentorship for freelance writing, decided to start doing social media strategy and copy for Costa Rican restaurants. Like it's just amazing. Because here's the thing, I have my philosophies in business. As you know, by now I'm a really technical and practical lady. I notate everything, document everything. So I have my matrices that my clients go through on VIP days that guarantee results. Because if you get your reps in at the end of the day, business is a numbers game. If you are creating your content, you're sending your emails, you're sending your pitches, you have your creative portfolio that's co-written by a copywriter that has been in business 10 years and gotten clients millions in revenue, then you just can't lose. It's just not a losing scenario for you. It's a win scenario for you. But I think that's it for this video. We are approaching 37 minutes. I'll see you next time. Shalom, shalom. Binge the Mauritius Africa playlist. Check out the links in the description. Do all those things. Really notate everything on our channel because there are resources for your journey abroad.